our boy Creepy Gregg Doyel is back in business. Yeah, he is. The creeper who you know and who you loved, actually hated, got a bit of a restraining order against him. He did. Got a bit of a restraining order when he went all creeper on Caitlin Clark, and the Indy Star / WNBA / Fever said, you can't come here. You can't come to Gamebridge Fieldhouse and cover our team for your paper. Anybody's welcome to buy a ticket. I've never seen a writer, because of being a creeper, get a ban. That's right, a ban from a sports team in their own town. Now, Gigi is trying really hard to bounce back from that. We call him Gigi affectionately. He acts like a tough guy. He's really a creep. But long story short, the creeper is back at it. See, he's trying like crazy to make himself relevant to folks again in Indiana. Now, doing this segment's going to help him immensely because it puts his name out there. But the creeper was at it after Will Howard for the Ohio State University snuck one in. He snuck one in. Instead of 31-15, it's 38-15. And Indiana fans went bat blank crazy, led by the creeper. So the creeper's unhappy because Ryan Day snuck one in. Of course he is. Well, here's my thing. I tell people I play golf with, I'm going to make you putt some putts. And don't be afraid to make me putt anything you want. But I don't want to hear about it when I say something's not good. You got to putt it. All right? Same thing when I was coaching. Hey, man, you want to beat my ass by 100? You go ahead. Don't cry when I beat your ass by 100. I don't care what you do with your team. I don't. Doesn't matter. And don't care what I do with my team. And I was very upfront about it. I don't care. Some dude ran it up on me one time. I know he did. I didn't care. Like, do what you got to do, man. But apparently, Ryan Day and Ohio State's use of a quarterback sneak showed they were purposely trying to humiliate Indiana before taking issue with Howard's comments and gestures towards Coach Sig. As you would expect, he was promptly roasted. All right, so Signetti's been a big mouth, our coach. Okay, good. I love it. Will Howard scores a touchdown, throws a cigarette down, squashes it with his feet, and he types up he's Googling it. I'm loving this. What's the problem with it? All right, let's reflect back on creepy Gregg Doyel. Let's reflect back on the boy who, I don't know what the hell he was doing here, but this is what he did with Caitlin Clark.
Hi, Caitlin. Gregg Doyel, Indy Star. Real quick, let me do this.
You like that?
I like that you're here. I like that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so.
Okay, well, let's start doing it to me and we'll get along just fine. So, question is.
Listen to the idiots laugh. Listen to the idiots in the back laugh. I mean, the dude, I've known him for years, and I stopped hanging out with him because he was creepy. You know, he's married. He admitted in an article with me and ripping me that he had affairs. He didn't even mention the affairs that I knew about and helped him with. One little ESPN, married with 2 kids, football reporter, when she was married with 2 kids. And every time I see her on the screen, I just laugh, but I'm not getting into it. That's Doyel. So Doyel has decided that Will Howard is a bad guy. Well, you got to understand, he's the local columnist. He's struggling. People see him, and they kind of walk away. So here's Doyel's anger at Will Howard and Ryan Day running the score up. Ryan Day risked injury. Oh, yeah. To Will Howard to stick it to Curt Cignetti. 2 quarterback sneaks in the teeth of the IU defense with teammates sandwich him into all that mess. And then Howard says, Google me, and puts out a sig. You're not the Ohio State University. You're one of them. Oh, what a jab. Oh, you know, if you ever want to make a point, always say the kids are going to get injured. They're going to get injured. Now, what I would say was this. Yes, and I don't care that he did it, but yes, karma may come back to the Ohio State University. But on a broader sense, you know, if I'm Ohio State, I'm trying to score 80. I mean, that's the way football is set up right now. Style points matter. Style points hurt Indiana. Well, as you would imagine, Doyel got roasted, which he should. I mean, he's trying so hard. He really is. And bless his little soul. Bless Greggy's little soul. He's trying hard. Nah, it was hilarious, and the way you're reacting publicly makes it even funnier. Yeah. Here's a couple others. Look, people aren't down for this crap. They're not. Lighten up, dude. It was 6 years ago. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what it was 6 years ago means. What's that mean? Dude, you deal exclusively in the exchange of rumors. This should be like athletes complaining about fans booing. It's part of the gig, dude. Fortunately, reporters end up being a tool in order to manipulate the perception of things. This can't be the first time someone has used you to spin a narrative. Are you sure this is about Doyle? Did I miss something here? Because I saw stuff that called him a complete jackass. I saw something that has called him the softest, even from IU fans. I don't know what all this is, but I'll go along with it. We got anything else here? What is this about? Dude, you deal exclusively in the exchange of rumors. Did you guys put the wrong thing in? I think they did too. Look, I'll do the reaction to you. Dude, you're an idiot. Here's one. In addition to being banned from covering Caitlin Clark, you should be banned from covering college football. I love this double standard. I'll read them for you. Cignetti can keep his foot on the gas in a game he has no chance of winning, meaning Cignetti went for two and onside kicked. But if Ryan Day returns the favor, it's the end of the world. Well, it's not the end of the world. Anything Gregg Doyel says isn't the end of the world. It's simply stupid. Maybe tell Cignetti to stop flapping his gums so much. The poisonous nut said, don't play the victim. Your coach ran his mouth for a year. He did, too, because he said Purdue sucks, Ohio State sucks, and Michigan sucks. Well, I don't think Ohio State sucks. And it's telling that you think running a quarterback sneak would risk injury. Guessing you're not used to having legit athletes. Yep, they're not that fragile. Don't cage fight me, but this is a shitty take. Doyle wants to fight everyone. He wanted to fight me. I said, look, I'm not a boxer, but I'll play in basketball. He said, well, we're going to do that after. I'll hit you there, too. I said, hit me all you want. It's like 110 pounds. He's wiry, though. Isn't Doyle the weird perv that was hitting on Caitlin Clark? That's from Jay Bacon. Hey, man, this is more embarrassing than the time you creepably gave the hand signal to Caitlin Clark, and that was the most embarrassing thing I have ever seen. James Yoder said, did you get fired for being a pervert? That's pretty funny. Kyle Lamb said, you Indy star folks are bitter about Ohio State playing for 60 minutes. Well, I will say this. Kyle Lamb is one of the biggest douchebags in media. Now, I will say that. So if it's like a negative and a negative, it equals a positive. So if Kyle Lamb is criticizing you, well, you know what? You got to be careful. You got to be careful with that one. Hey, if you want to act like one of the big boys, but cry because it should have only been a 16-point loss, I couldn't imagine Ohio State ever being that soft. Well, we are crying that it should have been an only 16-point loss. I'm not. Look, if you are going to run your mouth and you are going to be the guy that says Google me and you are going to get up at Assembly Hall on national TV and say my team sucks, I'm going to kick your ass into oblivion. And if it risks injury, I'll ask the quarterback, hey, man, you want to score? Yeah, let's go. I mean, swear to God. Now, I get what Doyle's doing. We all get what Doyle's doing. He's a little disgusting pervert. And you know what? He has to get on the right side of Indiana and its fans. He has to because he's on the currently wrong side. The guy says this is pretty good. Matt Stefanik. Ryan Day risked injury to Will Howard, but only Greg got hurt. Hey, spell that with 2 G's, pal. Anyway, in this era of college football, we'll talk to Barrett Salee about this. And, his opinion can be different, but I don't care. I'm talking to you from a coach's standpoint. I'm leaving nothing to chance. If I can win by 100, I'm going to win by 100. And if I got a chance on the 2-yard line to knock it in, I'm knocking it in. Because 38-15 is a hell of a lot better for me if I lose. Well, you can't think no, you got to think about everything. If I lose the Big Ten championship game and I get 2 losses, I want 38-15, not 31-15 on that board. I did have a chance. I was standing on the sideline with Lee during the game, and I had a chance to talk to Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner. Really good guy. And I'm like, all right, when Indiana scored the first touchdown, and it was 7-0. Here's what I did. Yo, Indiana beats the hell out of Ohio State. What happens to Ohio State? He looks at me, laughs. He didn't know who I was, but I had an Indiana basketball jacket that I love on in the rain. He goes, here's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We got 4 teams in. I go, good story. And away we go. But anyway, I don't know. If I'm a coach in this day and age, I'm running it up. If I'm playing against Cignetti in the Big Ten, I'm running it up. Not only for now, but for the future. I want recruits to see, yeah, they're an up-and-coming program, and I got respect for them, but we beat their ass. They got a long way to go until they are us. Oh, this is a great story. I'm glad this one made. I sent this to the boys the other day. Ian Rapoport is a NFL writer of some esteem. He is. He's a guy, got a lot of followers in the millions. He's a guy that, well, people, I guess, respect. Except coaches don't respect him. This is a great story. Ian Rapoport is pissed that Mike Mularkey, 6 years later, as Mularkey revealed, this is great. I love this story. He purposely lied to Rapoport about getting a contract extension, when in reality, he knew he was being fired the next day, and using it as a hilarious way to stick it to Titans ownership. Rapoport, just like creepy Gregg Doyel, got promptly skewered by the internet for acting like a little crybaby. I did this to Doyel. I told him, yeah, they're going to hire Alford at Indiana. I did. That was one of the main reasons Doyel got pissed at me. This is glorious. All right. Here is Mularkey saying what he did 6 years later. I love this stuff because I hate reporters except for OutKick guys.
I knew they were going to fire me. So Sunday night, I called Ian Rapoport and I said, hey, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to break it to you. But I'm getting a new contract in the morning. And he reported it. It was all over the country. I was getting a contract in the morning, knowing that I was going to get fired. But I just wanted to see the faces on the owner and the GM who was out to get me. And I'm pretty sure I got him for a minute or two.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
That was the Brandon Austin show on Action Sports. Those guys yucking it up. Pretty funny for them, I guess, if you don't care about accuracy and taking someone's reputation and rubbing it in the mud. Everyone said Mike Mularkey's a good guy. He always was to me. I liked him. Thought it was very respectable. That is not cool. That's not funny. I was a younger reporter then, and the amount of online hate and ridicule I got because Mike Mularkey thought it'd be funny to get back at his old boss, it was not fun. So I don't have much to say. I don't blame Mike Mularkey, but I want to. And that was not cool, and that was not funny, and we should treat truth better than that.
Mike?
Oh, just stop. Just stop. Treat truth. Treat truth. Now, let's go. Let's go to what you guys downloaded. What are you talking about? Treat truth. These guys are so full of shit. There it is. Dude, you deal exclusively in the exchange of rumors. This would be like athletes complaining about fans booing. Yeah, it is part of the gig, dude. Unfortunately, reporters end up being a tool in order to manipulate the perception of things. This can't be the first time someone has used you to spin a narrative. No. See, Ian Rapoport has been his buddies. His buddies will help him. See, writers hate it. They hate it when they are treated like normal people. They want to be treated as end-all, know-all, be-all. They want to be treated as somebody that we're supposed to revere, care about. They're jackasses. They're little Weasley Fs. I don't mind them as long as, I guess, you treat them the way they want to be. They're little dudes, Rapoport, that not a hot girl in the world or anybody paid attention to. Then they get this little gig. They get something that can't take a little heat on them. We get heat here every day. We got another one? Is there another one of these roasts on here? These guys are so full of crap. Hilarious. And he got you again because you're still upset now. That's right. That's exactly right. I'm Ian Rapoport. I'm mad because they said mean things or they didn't tell me the truth. These dudes don't ever deal in the truth. Let's go with another one. These dudes never deal in the truth. They suckle at the teat of lies, rumors. They can't wait to be I was a young reporter. Really? These guys are young players that you're bitching about. These guys are young coaches that you're bitching about. You know what I mean? I'm a young reporter. I was a young reporter. Yeah? These guys are young players. I was a young reporter. Hate, vitriol. I get hate every day. Right? I don't know. I love it. I do. You can kiss my ass. Good for Mike Mularkey. Great for Mike Mularkey. Dude is a retired professional dog walker and believes anyone is taking his football opinion serious. That's on Doyle. That's the Doyle one, fellas. You guys are all screwed up back there, and I love you for it. That's Doyle. Doyle was a dog walker. He walked dogs. Oh, man. It's awesome. Yeah, well, there you go. All right, the most important thing of the week. I'm bragging about this. I am. I'm bragging to a lot of people. I am bragging that I, ladies and gentlemen, get to be a part of a football poll that includes Les Miles, Tommy Tuberville, Clay Travis, Trey Wallace. Is Trey mad at us because we went back and forth? I don't know. But anyway, I hope not because I like Trey. Anyway, here is the official release of the OutKick Top 12, the only poll that you need to know. Well, the main one you need to know too. But here it is. Let's see what we're going to do here first. Let's go. What's first, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. My boys, Nick and Nick, what's going on? We're a little sluggish today. You know what? The beatings will begin in earnest, and they won't stop. I voted Indiana like 9th or 10th. Look, I'm pretty honest about the thing. A couple weeks ago, I put Indiana number 1. And then last week, Oregon went ahead into Wisconsin, which is a tough, tough place to play, and won. So I moved Oregon in there. But let's go back to the poll. See, Colorado losing didn't really affect a lot of things because whoever wins the Big 12 is going to make it. All right? Florida beats number 15 Ole Miss. 3-loss Ole Miss team ain't happening. And good for Billy Napier. He's saving his job. You gone, Mississippi. You gone. Penn State snaked by. They got Minnesota at Minnesota by 1. Good for them. Hey, just win, baby. That's a road win in the Big Ten. Row your boat guy continues to be mediocre. I tell you this, I put Arizona State in my top 12. Now, look, somebody's going to win that division. Someone's going to win that league. Here is the Elite top 12. See, you got to understand Dylan. Dylan and all these guys that vote, they're from the South. They don't respect Indiana. Oregon, number 1, Texas, Miami, and Arizona State. See, it goes by who is going to get the bye. So Arizona State would be the Big 12 champ. I ain't mad at this. Hell, I want a piece of Arizona State and Miami in the second round if I'm any of these other teams. Ohio State 5th, they'll get a chance to be first with a Big Ten, if they beat Michigan, with a Big Ten title win over Oregon. Notre Dame's playing great. Now, Notre Dame's got the easiest schedule, not named Indiana. Penn State, boringest good team in America. Georgia, most dangerous team on here. Tennessee has been good, like of the upper echelon, like take all the college football teams down here, like from here down. Take the really good ones from here up. Oregon at the top, let's say. Tennessee's been the most average, and Penn State of the really good teams. SMU got a chance to win the ACC. It's them and Miami, probably. Indiana, hey, Indiana didn't fall out. 97% chance to go because there was a bunch of losses. And then Boise's going to go ahead and, if they continue, win and be the at-large. But here's the deal. Still some football to be played now. Indiana's got Purdue. Purdue is better than what they were. And if there's any kind of letdown, Indiana, just win by 1 and move it along. Tennessee or Texas plays Texas A&M. That's interesting stuff. Always Ohio State and Michigan rocking and rolling. Notre Dame's got to go out to USC. I feel like Notre Dame's the one team that can't afford another loss. I feel like some of these teams, like Oregon can lose in the Big Ten championship game. Texas can lose, But I feel like of the teams not winning their division or not winning a conference, that loss we've all forgotten about to Northern Illinois pretty much. However, if Notre Dame would lose at USC, we're going to remember that loss. But I think Notre Dame crushes them. And I think Indiana absolutely crushes Purdue. All right, here's how everybody voted, I think. We got it? What we got? This is the bracket. Now, look, who do you want to beat? Obviously, you'd like a bye. But I got to tell you, sitting there, if I'm Ohio State, I ain't mad about it. No, I ain't mad about it at all. You give me Boise, and then you give me Arizona State to get to the Final Four, sign me up. If I'm Notre Dame, I'm not mad about it. Indiana, Notre Dame, then Miami, Notre Dame, Indiana at home. I'll take that right now, too. That's going to be fun as hell. We'll see how it plays out. A lot of football left. Who you don't want to be is the 8-9 game. The 8-9 game always sucks. It does. It sucks. So there you go. 8-9, Georgia, Tennessee. All right. Georgia, Tennessee, going to play. Here's how we all voted. I got Ohio State. Everybody else has Oregon. I think Ohio State is going to beat, except Les Miles. I always pay attention to coaches. I do. I think coaches have an interesting feel on it. Look the difference in coaches right there on the right side between Les Miles, who's got Tennessee number 1, and Tommy Tuberville, who's got Texas number 7. That's always fascinating to me. I respect what coaches have to say. I do. I really do. I think coaches are interesting, man. I think coaches, that's an interesting thing. I would put that ahead of almost anybody else in here. Like, I don't know. Indiana 12th, according to Lou Holtz. That concerns me. Indiana 11th, according to Les Miles. Indiana 9th, Tommy Tuberville. That's basically where I have him. Where do I have him? 10th. Most dangerous team in here is Georgia. Look where Tommy Tuberville has Georgia. See, that means he thinks Georgia is going to win the SEC championship over Texas. That's why he's got Georgia 2nd and Texas number 7. That's the interesting stuff to me. That's the good stuff. Reporters, I get it. I do. But when Tommy Tuberville and Les Miles speak, I have a tendency to listen. I think, here's the other thing that I think. I think those two guys are taking this really serious. I do. I think they're taking this really serious. They're doing some studying. They're doing some thinking. You can like Les Miles. You can dislike Tommy Tuberville. You can like Tommy Tuberville, dislike Les Miles, or like them both, dislike them both. But I applaud our poll right here because they're taking it serious, and I'm digging it. I am digging it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. The most important poll that doesn't come out on Tuesdays is right there. Unranked, I'll tell you this, you can kiss my ass, Alabama. I hear people talk about a 3-loss Alabama team. Hey, look, I don't know what you guys are looking at, but I can look at an eye test like anybody else can, and a bad Oklahoma team, they beat the brakes off of them. They did. They beat the brakes. Here's the thing I would have to decide a little bit about Indiana. Indiana was as good as Ohio State except for this. And this is a big difference. This isn't like, what's the deal? This isn't like team. When I walked out on the field, Urban and I were talking. He goes, hey, Dan, I think Ohio State's going to beat the shit out of them. I said, really? He goes, yeah, I walked around. Man, those bodies, Ohio State, are different than Indiana. Okay, he's right. Kinda. Well, he's always right. I mean, it's Urban Meyer talking football. I genuflect to his knowledge. However, see that? So everything I said before then, the however didn't matter. So here's the deal. I'm watching the first drive. Indiana scores. Again, I told Tony Patini, the commissioner, what happens if Indiana whoops that ass? But here's the difference. There is a saying. I'm not big into sayings, but I have said this my entire adult life. The one saying that I like, there's two that I really like, one that applied the other day. Victory favors the team making the fewest mistakes. That is a great Bob Knight saying. It doesn't mean you're automatically going to win if you make the fewest mistakes. It doesn't mean you're automatically going to lose if you make the fewest mistakes. But victory favors the team making the fewest mistakes. Indiana, 3rd and 1, guy jumps. A lot of Indiana people are saying bad call. Doesn't matter. That's what happened. 3rd and 1 became 3rd and 6. Indiana has Ohio State backed up. 3rd and 35. A 25-yard pass, then a 15-yard pass on 4th down. Boom. Mistakes. Indiana's punter right here goes through the wickets late in the half. Mistake. Touchdown, Ohio State. Here's something, and this is where Joe Klatt, I don't think he did this. I know we're all supposed to be on the same team, but I'm sitting in the stands. I watched the first half from the sideline, went up with my friends because we had tickets about 24th row, second half. Truthfully, because I wanted a beer. And I liked the guys that were there, and I wanted to hang out. Lee and I wanted to hang out with them. So we went up there, had a ball. Surprised there's not pictures of me drinking out of a flask. Gary, Aaron, I'll tell you right now, I did. I was high-fiving a ball. Anyway, so Indiana punts. And my stepdaughter's boyfriend, Charlie, great dude, played college football, left tackle, UIndy, really good, like really good. But he got hurt. Okay. He elbows me. He goes wrong way as the punt is punted to the left. I'm like, what are you talking? What? He goes, supposed to go right, supposed to go right. And I look, and sure enough, Indiana's converging, but the punt went that way. Guess what happened? Touchdown. See, mistakes. Mistakes are big. Mistakes are huge. Don't have to play the best game. You just can't make mistakes. And I'm going to give Ohio State great credit. This is why I think they're the best team in the country. Ohio State took advantage of those mistakes. Ohio State didn't just get a mistake, fumble the next. You know what I mean? No. They took advantage. One time they didn't take advantage. They intercepted, Indiana intercepted back, or they fumbled, Indiana got it back. Anyway, that was fun. Really fun. Something to watch. Jemele Hill is back. She's calling white men the worst thing in America. I volunteer. I will tell you point blank right now, I am the worst thing in America. She's tinkering with the idea of deleting X itself after telling her followers that she now spends most of her time on Blue Sky, where leftists have turned since the election in protest of Elon Musk's support of Donald Trump. That's cool. Good. So the problem is, can anybody guess? I can't cue white see it. Oh, I can't quite see it. Oh, yay. Well, I don't think that's a problem. I think that's a solution. I'll tell you right now, 36% of white men that voted for Kamala Harris are morons. 53% of Latino men that voted for Kamala Harris are morons. 72% of black men that voted for Kamala Harris are morons. I can't quite see it as cute. It keeps her narrative going. I can see it. Shoot, I can see it clear as day. 64% of white dudes voted for Trump. Should have been 100%. Maybe them being the worst thing in America for decades has its consequences. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'll take the consequences. I will take the consequences of a Donald Trump presidency over the consequences of a Kamala Harris presidency today, tomorrow, or the next day. I don't want people like Jemele Hill, the intolerant left, to like me. I don't want, although he does, we've met, he's like, Dakich, I really like you, Bomani Jones. And I'm like, I don't care. Anyway, I don't want intolerant, racist, either side to like me as a white man, or if they even know me. Maybe they just read me. I don't care. I don't want any of them, none of them, to like me. They shouldn't like me because they're racist. I'm not. They're dishonest. I'm not. You can't like what is opposite of you unless you get to know them. I met Jemele Hill. She seemed nice. I said, hey, good luck with the 6. She's like, thanks, Dan. Quit hitting so hard on Michigan State. I said, yeah, I can't. We started laughing. All good. But now she's become a thing. Now she's become, well, a thing. Here's more of the thing. Y'all, I'm surprised she didn't go y'all, are under the twisted belief that subjecting yourself to constant vitriol and engaging with assholes is some kind of badge of honor. It's not. It's annoying and draining. Nobody owes you a debate or engagement. This app is at an all-time low. It's full of racists, conspiracy theorists, and jerks. If that's what y'all consider intellectually stimulating, God help you. Well, remember this, all right? Just because somebody doesn't like it and says that doesn't mean it is. I mean, look, the same people that call groups of people garbage, racists, Nazis, Hitlers, white, okay, you don't like it, no problem. It's not an all-time low. It's not an all-time high. I mean, I've always faced vitriol. Hell, I wore a Pat McAfee jersey yesterday to the Colts game because Colts are hating on Pat McAfee. I got called all kind of names on Twitter, not in person. Nobody says shit to me in person. Although I did make a lady cry, she and her friend. I'll tell that story later. What I find funny is that the people who throw around the snowflake term are the weakest folks. I mean, everybody can say that. Folks, it's not challenging ideology calling somebody 10 times a day. And Musk also changed the block features on the platform, too. And again, nobody owes you engagement. Yeah, don't open it up. I mean, it's simple. I listen to all these people complain about it, and I'm like, wait a second. I didn't have it on basically from halftime of the game until the end of the game at Ohio State, until I got home, actually. And you know what? I don't know. I felt bad because I promised Gary and Aaron that I'd post some videos. I made a couple, but I couldn't post them because of the internet stuff. But anyway, long story short, I didn't miss it. I didn't miss people saying, hey, Dakich, I met you, you're an asshole. I mean, you know, I got to tell you something interesting. I couldn't believe how many people came up to me. Lee couldn't either. Like, we're used to some people coming up to us, but not this many. I don't know whether this show is popular or not, but based on going to the Ohio State, Indiana game, and the people that came up talking about my Twitter and my show here, holy shit. Never had it that. I almost had to get velvet ropes, bottle service, and a bodyguard. Anyway, as I said, I don't know what the numbers are on our show, but when we went to Ohio Stadium, holy hell, never. I mean, no, not ever like that. Trolls say mean things to Jemele Hill because her social media profile is littered with racial hysteria, false accusations of racism, and awful blatant racism directed at white people. What do she and Mark Jones expect? That's right. I mean, when you come at a group of people, again, this is what I say about the media. They think they are inherently exempt from criticism. They think that they are on the mount. I can say about white people, I can say about anybody what I want to say. But don't you dare come back at me, because if you come back at me, now you're mean, you're angry, you're whatever. It's ridiculous. They can just spread hate and racism, and no one is going to push back. That the trolls are not going to respond with a similar mean tone. It's not even the trolls. I mean, people will respond back to hate and racism with their names. Sure, there's some trolls, but it ain't trolling to come back at somebody and saying, look, you racist asshole. You know, further, Hill has made millions of dollars by convincing guilty white men executives to let her use their platform to fight racism. Boy, is this true. TNT is the latest network to give her a show that is failing in the ratings. Her grift has made her wealthy. She's playing a character. So why is she so concerned with what Jim Bob Tim 2211 says anyway? Still, if Hill moves her racist posts and grifts to Blue Sky X will be just fine. That's perfectly well stated. No, it really is. Speaking of another woke gas bag, Elle Duncan is catching heat for her idiotic, hate-driven attack on former quarterback Daniel Jones, prompting a response from Giants Senior Vice President of Communications, Pat Hanlon, who bodied ESPN. We normally reserve taking the L for Fridays, but Giants quarterback Daniel Jones did something so inexplicable we made an exception. After being benched this week, Jones took to the podium to say goodbye to the franchise and fans. But with like 7 games left in the season, I'm sorry you have to write this down. Didn't you go to Duke? Do you guys think he had saved his notes since like 2020? In all seriousness, DJ, I could have saved you 90 seconds to rewrite. Sorry you paid me $108 million for one playoff win, and I look forward to reviving my career as Brock Purdy's backup. The end. Well, here's a response by the executive of the Giants. I mean, what Elle Duncan said was idiotic. that an ES personality would mock Daniel Jones' statement is mind-boggling. Given what has happened at that company over the past years, tone deaf. It is. But Elle Duncan's protected. I don't know if she's black, she's Mexican, I don't know what the hell she is. I really don't. She's an idiot. Like, she has to write every show out. You think she gets up there? It started flurrying this morning after a surprising amount of snow on my drive. I guess you could say I can't seem to escape all these snowflakes. Oh, she's so tough. Yeah, Elle Duncan is, man, when I think about toughness, I think about Elle Duncan. I think about how badass. See, Elle Duncan knows she's DEI protected. She's not attractive. She's bad at her job. She has horrific, nonsensical opinions based on never being in a locker room except to look at a package, get an autograph, or ask a question. But yet she thinks she's something she's not, and it's fascinating to me. I told you this about ESPNers. They get to a point where they think they're something, and Elle Duncan's that. She literally writes down every word she says on TV, but she's mocking Daniel Jones for doing the same. It's disgusting. It's sickening. And you know what? I'm going to go take an Elle Duncan.